All right, guys, welcome back to the next episode of the Grand Prairie PD podcast. I'm your host, Nate, here with Whitney.
Hello.
And I just realized I don't know your first name.
First name's Owen.
Okay.
I go by Chase, so.
Oh.
So
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I know.
Chase
I know. It's my middle name.
Oh, okay.
That
That
makes
does make sense,
Okay.
yeah.
So.
I was gonna
Oh,
say
like
it
first
was-
time I found out that Dick was short for Richard, right? Yeah. Dick is short for Richard. I was like, that just blows my mind. Makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought it was that kind of situation.
No. Just parents wanted to call me my middle name, so that's what we go by.
Why
Biggest
wouldn't
pain in
they
the
name
ass that I've
you?
ever
Why wouldn't
had.
they name you your middle name?
Oh, we just talked about this at Thanksgiving, so yes, it is. It's been the biggest pain in the ass. Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, you guys got me. Good prank from day one.
My husband in our family is like that. I mean, I have his first name, but everyone calls him by his middle name. So when we're all together, they only refer to my husband with the middle name. So if I say his first name, they're like, "Who?" Oh, yes. Then they'll remember. Oh, yeah, you're talking about. I'm like, why didn't we just go with the middle name if that's what they're going to call you? But I call him by his first name because that's the name he went by. Of course, college, professionally, that's how we know him. But family,
Right.
they only refer to him by the middle name. So I have to, by default, with the family, say it, but
feel
then
his
it feels
pain.
foreign.
I
Like,
feel his
what?
pain.
I don't understand that. But then I'm
guess-
looking at I'm being looked at a certain way, and I'm the daughter-in-law. You know,
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Just use the middle name officially. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like your email, everything is your first name. It's
Yeah.
your government name. So it's
Right.
just, yeah. Then my wife, she's hanging out with people at work and they're all talking about Owen. She's like, oh, yeah, it's him.
Oh,
It's my
yeah.
husband.
Right. See, we could have a whole conversation. Me and
So,
your wife.
yes.
I think say if like your kid's born like different personality than you thought, and just kind of fits more of the first name.
Well, I'm named after my dad's dad. So they wanted to name me after him and they wanted to keep the initials. So OCR. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So there's a reason behind it. But my mom just loved the middle name too much. She couldn't. So I like them both. Just whichever one that you want me to go
Yeah.
by. Let's go with that one first name.
Yeah.
So
Chase sounds more, I don't know, lighthearted, like flighty. You know, like fly by the seat of your pants kind of guy. Owen sounds more
it's
I
an
don't
old
know.
school name. Yeah.
very old English
Yeah.
kind of feel to it. Like,
Owen is
yeah,
Mhm.
like you know things, whereas Chase is like has vibes.
I guess that's a compliment, but yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
it.
I'm such a parent. I'm sitting here thinking about Paw Patrol because of Chase,
Oh,
like Chase
yeah.
in the case. I don't. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know
know
Paw
me,
Patrol,
I'm just thinking
actually.
about Paw Patrol right now because you said Chase.
My kid's all about Bluey. Everything's Bluey.
Oh, Bluey's the best
Oh,
one.
Bluey.
Oh,
Bluey is a good show.
oh, man. After we
sat
put our
down-
daughter down, my wife and I'll still watch it.
Yeah, dude, it's been on, and I'm just sitting there watching it, and he's off playing, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be watching it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The dad, the bandit. Oh,
Oh man.
hilarious.
Oh, he said the dad abandoned them, and I was like, that's a twist.
Oh, no.
I didn't see that coming.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Yeah, no, it makes you like simultaneously feel like a worse parent, but then want to be a better parent because like the characters are so patient with the kids, and that first starts, I'm just like, kids doing something like, I slap the shit out of them, and then the dad like super understanding, like, oh no, yeah, that's the right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
It's
a
very
routine
foolish.
at night. My daughter, when we tell her it's bedtime, she'll run up and she goes, okay, so an episode of Bluey and then bed, right? And we're like, oh, okay. I'm like, I want that more than you do.
Right,
So let's
yeah.
go.
Which is convenient because they're like 8 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
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 Love that.
Cool. Well, so Owen, Chase Owen.
Whatever you want.
Which one is it correct?
Mr. Redmond's fine.
Owen.
Mr. Chase, Mr. Owen.
Now he's in
Owen
charge.
Chase.
So thank you guys for being here today.
Appreciate it.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got started on this
Okay.
journey that has you here?
Yeah, so I'm originally from a small town outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Owasso.
Okay.
So grew up there. When I was a senior, I had no plans on being a cop. I mean, played cops and robbers as kids, of course, like everybody else. But beyond that, didn't really have any interest. And took a criminal justice class just because the teacher was a retired FBI or a Secret Service agent. Everybody loved him. He's a good coach. And he had an easy class for seniors. And I was like, of course I want to take that class. And two school resource officers for the school came in one day, and they were just like, hey, this is what we do, kind of gave us a rundown. It was like, anybody ever thought about being a cop? And I was like, holy crap. Like, I don't know, something in that moment, it hit. And I told my dad that night, and then the next day he gave me a phone number to a captain at Tulsa Police Department, his phone number, and said there's a captain on the other line or waiting for you to call him, go talk to him. So
Did your dad have any kind of law enforcement experience?
No, I'm the first one.
Wow.
So my dad, he is an exterminator, so he goes out on routes and stuff, and this was one of his customers, and
Gotcha.
so I went and called him, and we talked on the phone for like 45 minutes, and then when I turned 18, I went on a ride along, and then from there I was hooked.
Just hooked.
Yeah.
Man.
So
Yeah, ride along for a young man who's like on the fence or thinking about it or woman is just like crack. I mean, you're hooked.
Oh man, yeah. If you like it, it's like it seals the deal. Like, oh, this is what I want to do. But if you didn't like it, it's like, okay, I'm glad I did that. And didn't
Yeah.
waste
Or if you're
my-
like borderline, like I don't know if I can handle the stress, and you guys get to see it up close.
Right.
It's
Oh man.
a little reality check.
Oh yeah. I cried. I mean, I was scared. I had so much fun. I laughed. I mean, it was awesome. So it was a good time. So from there, I knew I wanted to do it. That officer, though, he said, don't go to school like you want to be a cop. Go to school like you want to do something else.
Yep.
And so I went for business. So
Yeah.
I got my degree in business, and
That's literally the best possible.
oh man,
thing to do.
a good fallback.
Yeah.
So graduated from Oklahoma State, and while I was there, I met my wife. And so,
Not having good football this year.
boy, it's been a tough year.
Yeah,
Oh
sucks.
man. Woo. Yeah.
My brother-in-law is going up there now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, he's does band. Excuse me. I was asking like, how are the football games going? How excited is everybody?
Oh,
He's
man.
like, don't talk to me.
Oh no. Yeah. Thanks
We-
for asking.
We celebrated for our anniversary last year. It was right at the same weekend as the Bedlam game, and so it was the last time OU and OSU played for who knows how long. And
okay.
so OSU won, and oh man, that was like best anniversry ever.
Oh, yeah.
And then we're looking forward to this season. We're like, oh my gosh, we suck.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Not being a Rangers fan this year though. It's like,
yeah,
you know what it is.
you had a good year.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
no.
you, but so you go to OSU, and to go for business. You said you met your wife there. Okay.
yep. So met my wife there. We got married in 2014, and then became a Tulsa police officer in 2015.
You did?
Uh-huh.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So I'm a lateral. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I was actually one of the first ones that they allowed to lateral from out of state.
Okay.
And so I was supposed to go through the basic again, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did not want to do this. And then I forget.
Yeah, because they maced them.
Oh, we still did that. Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
oh,
Lawless still made us do that. So I'm still planning my revenge on Lawless for that one.
I wouldn't
Wow.
have moved.
Oh.
I'd still be at my last agency.
Yeah.
100%. That was one of my big, like, 'cause I made the decision, like, the way I was being treated and the way things were going quality life wise.
Yeah.
Like, it's time for me to go. That was my big thing. Like, do I have to get
Oh, yeah.
maced?
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather get tased 3 times than pepper sprayed
Man.
once.
Shoot me.
Oh, yeah. Or that, yeah.
Yeah.
At least it's
Like,
over.
Yeah, it ends.
Right.
You don't get back in the shower. It's like, oh, the
And
bullet hole's not
reactivate,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, the shower after when you get home is almost just as worse.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Gosh, it's horrible. But yes.
When we did ours, they kind of played a joke on us. They had like little PVC fountains so we could rinse our face off with water. And dude, they left us out there forever. And so we're just like rinsing our faces with fire, not realizing it
Doesn't do anything.
at all.
Right.
It just delays the inevitable, makes it worse. Yeah, it was terrible.
It's absolutely horrible. Yeah.
Sounds terrible. It sounds horrible.
You see guys on calls pull it out. You're like, no, put that back. No.
I always tell them
Yeah.
like we had a rookie one time that we had a fighting a guy and he kicked out our back windows and stuff. So we're already fighting. It was very glass where we're cut up, and she runs around the other side of the squad car and pulls out the mace and shakes it up like she's about to swing. I was like, I swear to God, I was like, I'm gonna stop fighting. You're gonna handle this, and then at some point, all of this is going in your car.
Right.
I'm not doing this.
The one time I ever sprayed somebody, I sprayed this chick. She was already handcuffed, but she was about to kick out the window. And so I was like, "You better stop! I'm going to spray you." And so she did stop. So I sprayed her, and when she did, she put her head down, and so I sprayed her in the face, and then it went all the way to the top of her head. And then when I helped her up, she pulled her head back, and it wiped my whole face. And I was like, I get now why no one sprays people.
Never
Like, I'm
again.
never doing this
It
ever
was
again.
that
I
moment.
stopped carrying pepper spray because of that.
That was the moment.
Yep.
that
I don't
it-
carry it in years. I always keep it in my bag though because if you get calls of like abandoned houses and stuff, and like squatters going there and using it to shoot up dope. Or anyway, so how was Tulsa?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
Well,
How big is that city?
population of Tulsa itself is probably 500,000. So
Really?
surrounding
Oh.
areas, I think they're around 1 million now. So Yeah.
So this is a downsize for you.
It was. I mean, the department, yes, but I mean the area. Oh man.
Well, true.
Yeah,
Right.
so.
yeah.
Right.
Okay. We were there any real differences like being up there in Oklahoma?
Yes.
Like what?
Yes. So one thing that was, I mean, this is just my opinion, but it was very simple. You had misdemeanor and felony. You didn't have all these different classes. You didn't have a C, B, A, and then state felony and all that stuff. It was just very simple. It's like, hey, this is a felony. So that was simple. The laws are similar, but they're written just completely different. And so that trying to get used to that was different.
So how do you mean? Because like for a civilian listening to this, you just said they were similar, but then you said they're written completely different.
So
Right.
like with theft, for instance, you have theft of official service, theft of property, the shoplifting. Like it's just different categories, or it's just
Okay.
titled differently. Especially when you're arresting somebody and trying to figure out what am I going to charge this person with.
Right.
Where there, it was very simple. It was just either grand larceny, petty larceny. It's very simple.
And just based on amounts, I assume?
Yeah, yeah. So
No matter what your methodology was, like deception, service, whatever,
yeah,
just
larceny.
I like that.
Wow.
Very simple. And so I don't know. It was very simple.
Grand larceny does also sound badass.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we're getting it for
Sounds like
Right.
yes, like
It
the
does.
people like you'll see the criminal histories, and you'll like, oh, this guy got charged with grand theft auto. You're like,
Right.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I agree. So, yeah, it's just it is different. That's the main thing. It's just the way the laws are written and trying to figure out how. Okay, does this apply here or does this apply there? No, but
I was hoping you were gonna say tornadoes.
Yeah, I'm waiting
worked
for a
during,
tornado
yeah,
story.
I worked during a tornado. I went out. Someone called one of the areas that I worked had a bunch of rural houses with farms and stuff, and they called. They said there's a cow in the roadway, and so I'm out there. My Crown Vic is just shaking back and forth, and I'm like, "What the hell am I doing? Like, why am I still driving out here trying to find this?" But yeah, I think it was an F2 hit Tulsa, and that was the one time that when I got off shift at 7, I got a phone call saying, "Come back. We got to go out there and look for bodies." And
that sucks.
yeah, I don't think I went home till almost noon that day.
Man.
So it was nuts.
So, what did you do over there?
So I did patrol for most of it. My last year, I got on a street crimes unit, which is similar to our deployment. So basically, if there was a bad area, we would focus on that. We would get our own informants, do dope deals and stuff like that. And we'd do our own search warrants. I mean, it was hands down the most fun I've ever had as a police officer. So I did that for probably 9 months-ish. And as soon as I got the position full-time, my wife says, "Hey, I want to move to Texas." And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" so that,
Wow.
yes. So,
Man.
See, I had it a little simpler because I was in a unit like that, and they disbanded it, and they forced us into another unit that was not what I wanted to be in.
Right.
And so for me, it was like I had already kind of had that dream position taken away, and so moving to the department was. It was almost like I was going back more to what I wanted to do anyway. But yeah, that's tough, man.
oh, dude.
Because that is
was like a punch in
that
the
type of
gut.
setup where you just show up with your guys every day, figure out what you're going to do, and you do your investigations from beginning to end. That's an absolute
Man,
blast.
It was the most fun I've ever had, hands down. Yeah. So
How
Would
soon?
y'all-
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just, like, how soon was that going from there to here? Like in between? Was it a really quick move? or-
we decided we were going to move in summer of 18, and then we bought our house in December, and I started the academy here January 6th.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was. I mean, it was pretty quick. I
Yeah.
mean, the hardest thing was just trying to figure out what department to get on.
Right.
So, because she had a job lined up, that's what we moved down here for, was her job. So,
Oh, okay.
we knew the area that we wanted to live in, and then it was just a matter of trying to figure out, all right, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
Now, what is, if you don't mind me saying, what's she do that took her from Tulsa over
So she, it's a different job now that she's got, but she was a director of sales for it's a company called Biotech. So they do like publishing, online publishing, and like physical, like print menus and stuff like that. There's a lot more to it. I know I'm doing a disservice, but so one of their clients that they worked with was LegalZoom. So now my wife is a manager over at LegalZoom. So
Very cool.
yeah. So she's a smart one.
Yeah. That is my house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was going to ask you something. Oh, you're talking about like doing your stuff in Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever y'all were like, how'd y'all approach y'all's dope investigations?
We would. So there was one area. There were 6 motels, like literally within walking distance, and so a bunch of the fun people to be around, they would just walk back and forth.
That's sarcasm, folks.
So I mean, we would just stake out one of the motels. There was a lot of houses we hit too, but just those were good ones to just try and get someone with dope on them, read them their rights, and say, hey, if you don't want to go to jail, we can set up a deal with you if the DA will let you be an informant. If they sign off on it, then I think we did 5 buys, as long as they did 5 buys, and then, we dropped the charge. But they would tell us who their supplier was, and then we'd start looking at their house or motel room, whatever it was that they were at, and just get enough for a search warrant, and then we'd hit the house.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we had some of that too. We would a bigger issue for us was open air sales. Mm-hmm. It's like our gas stations and corners, whatnot. So we had a lot more like the jump out type of stuff where we'd like drive lease vehicles, kind of have an idea of who's holding what or where they're stashing the guns or whatever, using either cameras or just sitting up on the place, and then we would just roll in and jump out.
Right. Yeah.
A couple guys getting foot chases, a couple of other guys would. We finally started learning not to chase. It took us a while, but we finally realized that the dope dealers were paying certain fast people to run.
Yeah.
They would just give them $50, be like, hey, when the cops roll up, take off running. And so we're just being young and stupid, like, oh, I'm going to go get him.
Yeah.
So, get this guy, get a misdemeanor evading on foot with, no drugs, no gun on him, while everybody else is waiting until they don't see us anymore.
Of course.
Grab their guns, grab their drugs, and sweat.
Right.
Smart.
Yeah.
There was a fun, this one was pretty funny. My partner and I, we found a stolen vehicle at one of those motels, and there was a charge called joyriding. And so if you were in a stolen vehicle, but you were a passenger, you could still be arrested for joyriding.
Oh. What?
Yeah.
As the passenger. Wow.
Well, I mean, so half the time we would arrest him for it, but if we really thought like, oh, this guy doesn't know that this car's stolen, then you don't
They
have to
couldn't have
arrest
had
him.
a good conviction rate on that charge. You
I
wouldn't
don't
think.
know. I mean, we still did it, but
No, I know. Like, well, so speaking from a detective's perspective, there's the front end where you're like, no, you're going to jail. And the judge goes, yeah, it's PC, here's your signature. And then there's the back end where the county gets it and goes, no.
Yeah.
And your
That
detective
might
sitting
be
there
what it
going,
was.
hey, why? And you're like, because we're not doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, so we arrested the driver obviously for unauthorized use of motor vehicle, and then we arrested him for joyriding as well. But the guy that was getting the felony charge for the UUMV, he didn't want to talk nothing, and then I think they had some dope on him too. And the passenger, it's kind of like a Class C charge here. It's just like the most minimum thing you can get. And he is wanting to sing. He's like, I'll tell you anything you want to know, anything. And he shows me a picture on his phone, and it's like a Ziploc gallon bag just full of meth. And he's like, I can get you multiple bags of this, like anything you want. And I was like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. Like, we'll just see where it goes. And we ended up working him. And sure enough,
It's like what? It's like a kilo fits in a.
I think.
It was a gallon bag, I think.
So, long story short, we fast forward. He goes with his dealer that he works for. They drive to Oklahoma City, go to a taco shop that's a front for running dope, basically. And
Breaking Bad.
we wait for him. We had it all staged that we were just going to make a random traffic stop, and we end up doing it. And we get like you said, like 2 kilos off that traffic stop. And what's funny is when we went and picked up, or I think we paid him. Yeah, we paid him for that one, and that was our biggest bust that we got while I was there. And
So were y'all buying drugs?
yeah, sorry. So he was going. That was his supplier. So he went with his supplier to go.
Right, but I'm saying
pick it
if
up.
y'all paid him and then he picked up drugs and y'all kept the drugs, y'all were pretty much buying drugs.
Oh, I guess you kind of know. Yeah, you got me there.
So who's the felon?
I never thought of it that way.
Did we?
Do I have an attorney?
I know.
So we're just talking to him, and he was saying the whole time that he was the passenger in that one too, and the guy, the supplier, was driving, and while they're driving back from Oklahoma City to Tulsa, they were doing like 90 miles an hour, and he was trying to tell him like, dude, slow down, and he just goes, well, we're going to get pulled over either way. So 'cause we knew that we were going to, we had a plan to do it. So
I was gonna say, if anything, if the guy driving crazy gives him more of a cover, you're like, "No, I didn't rat you out. You're an idiot driving like."
right.
Of course, you got pulled
See?
over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was a funny story.
Yeah,
We laughed when he told us that.
that's fun. Do you have any stories from Tulsa where you just like embarrass yourself, like early days of being a cop?
Yeah, there's one I don't know that'll be appropriate to say on there. There's one. I made a traffic stop, and it was a younger girl, and I go up and introduce her, say, "Hey, Officer Redmond, this is why I stopped you," and she gets her insurance and her driver's license. We talk for a minute, and then normally when I tell people before I walk back to my car, they either say, "Hey, stay put," or "Hang tight." And when I did that, I said, "All right, ma'am, stay." And then my buddy, he just looks. He was looking down at her, and he just looks up, and he just goes and starts laughing so hard. And I was like,
I'm assuming she was attractive since you
"Yep."
got tongue-tied.
Stay tight.
And so I walked back to my car, and I just acted like I was typing something, and I was like, "All right, ma'am, you have a great day. Just make sure you don't do that again."
Of course.
On your way.
Of course.
I think I'd stay in the car.
Yeah.
I think I'd say my partner. Be like, tell her she's good.
Here's your license. You give it to her.
Yeah. Maybe she won't notice.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
That is so funny
That
to
is
me.
funny.
Stay tight. I can just imagine.
Yeah, just word vomited that one.
Okay. What was she thinking?
Another funny one. Went to a QT to go to the bathroom. This is probably like 3 in the morning. No, it was 2 in the morning because it was before they stopped serving beer or selling beer at 2. So it might have been like 1:45. This lady, she's walking out, and she's got 2 30-packs in her hands. And I literally remember saying, like, "You look like you need a hand." So I go and hold the door open for her, and then I walk her over to her car, and I grab one of them, and then open her car door and help her put the 30-packs in. And I was like, "Have a great night," and then walk inside, and I'm going to the bathroom. And a guy walks in, and he just starts yelling. He's like, "Officer, do you realize that you just helped that lady do a beer run?" And I was like,
Shut the f
I was
up.
like, "What?" So,
What?
hurry up real quick and run to the manager. I was like, "Hey, did that lady just steal?" And he goes, "Yep." So I don't know why she was still in the parking lot, but she was just driving out as I was running to my car, and I ended up getting a traffic stop on her, and ended up getting the beer back, taking her to jail. She had a bunch of other stolen stuff that she'd stolen from all these grocery stores earlier that day.
Okay, good. 'Cause I was about to say, you might be the
man.
worst cop I've ever seen.
I felt.
Let me help you.
I felt like an
That's
idiot.
redeeming.
But-
That's-
and then
I'll
I
get the door
remember
for you.
I slammed the 2 30-packs back on the counter. I was like, "Here's your beer, sir." And I thought about it. I was like, "Man, I should have gone back and bought those beers and said, hold those for me at the end of shift."
Yeah.
But I didn't. I think it was Memorial Day. That's what. Because I was like, "Why did you steal beer?" She's like, "Well, it's Memorial Day. Where else am I going to get it?"
Oh, man. Fun. This nice officer helped me and everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's
So
funny.
nice.
Yeah, she could have been like, I was following officer's instructions.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I always remember that one. Those are some good stories. Yeah.
How was the transition?
Yeah, this is different. One thing going from an external carrier, outer vest,
Oh, okay.
to internal one, that was I was like, "Oh man, I don't want to do that."
Would you say the external carriers are better?
Yes. 100%.
Why?
You can distribute everything, and like just, for my back in general and my hips, you don't.
I don't know, man. I just worked a roadhouse shift, 8 hours standing up on the concrete with everything on my belt.
It all sucks.
Dude, my hips felt so good.
Yeah.
I felt professional.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you against external carriers?
No.
Oh.
I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
Professional.
All right.
Yeah. No,
professional.
I always have been, actually. Like, well, appearance-wise, I've never been crazy about them. And I guess I'm still not. Some of the ones I've seen coming out now look a lot better than they used to. Because used to, like, your only options were, like, the ones that were, like, the podunk sheriff's officers wearing whatever. Kind of like, it's just a preference thing. Like the threaded looking belts.
Yeah.
I hate those. I don't know
yeah, I
why.
agree.
I'm sure they work the same, but I just don't like the way they look. But they look way better now. But wearing an external carrier completely changed my perspective.
Oh, yeah.
Like my lower back and my hips, I can sleep through the night now. It's awesome.
Yep. Like right now, when I'm doing this, my external's just sitting over there. I can just take it off.
Yeah, that's what we would do. We drop them to write reports and stuff like that. And small, but like the quality of life is
Oh, yeah.
a lot better.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I was just being sarcastic.
Changing everything. I mean, it's just so much easier. But yeah.
What about like any like big traffic law differences or anything?
Yeah. Anytime you make a turn, doesn't matter if it's from a private drive, anything like that, you have to use a signal.
Here or there?
In Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
And there's like how you make a wide right turn if you don't turn into the first lane. We had it if you we had a wide left turn as well. And so I remember
I think we used to.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay. I made a.
Or it was like first available lane or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that we would get people coming out of a quick trip all the time. Like they didn't use a turn signal and they made a wide left turn. That was that was easy. When I remember here, I think it was like my third day on FTO, and I made a traffic stop, and my FTO was like, "Hey, what'd you pull him over for?" I was like, "Oh, he made a wide left turn." And he goes, "He did what?" And I was like, "A wide left turn." He goes, "That's not a thing." And I was like, "Well, then we're going to make sure he gets out of here with a warning."
After much consideration, I'm not going to cite you for something that's not a crime.
You have a great rest of your day.
That's
Safe.
funny.
Yeah.
I probably not going to leave this in here, but I arrested the wrong guy one time.
Did you?
Well, I issued an arrest warrant for the wrong guy one time.
Oh.
You're like, dude.
Names.
No, I thought it was him. Watching the security footage from Walmart, I was like, that's him. And then he got booked in. I got picked up over the weekend. I got the voicemail. Came in like, okay, cool. I'll see if he's still here and I can talk to him. Clicked on his name on OpsCAD and pulled up his booking photo. I was like, ooh, whoopsie.
Oh, no.
I messed up. Like, that's not that guy.
Not him.
He's like, let's cut him loose and see if he doesn't remember it. Thankfully, he was also a criminal, but
Right.
Okay, well.
Didn't feel
just
too
not
bad.
the criminal that offense.
Right.
That one, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that cop
Man.
taught me to be a little careful.
Is that where you're a detective? Were you a detective for that?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Ish happens.
That's
Not
okay.
supposed to happen.
learning. Yeah.
So you got here. You said around 18.
Started 19 here.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it training for you as having already been a police officer?
The active shooter training we do here, I will say, is phenomenal. We'd had active shooter there, but we didn't use sim rounds, so actually be able
really?
to shoot people. So
Oh,
yeah.
man, that's a
so when I
big-
got here, I'm like, we're gonna do what?
Yeah.
And then I remember the
It's
first.
kind of weird, right? Because you're like, out of my gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I took a round right into the inner thigh, and they said like if you get shot, like play out like you got shot. I didn't have to play it out. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, like I'm worthless right now. This stings.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah, it's rough.
But-
First one I ever took was almost muzzle to muzzle out of a M16 to the pinky. Yeah.
Well,
Sucked.
yeah. That's yeah. I've been the bad guy a few times, and for some scenarios, and every time like you present your gun, everybody shoots you like right here, and that's like the one part that doesn't have any padding.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna start shooting one-handed.
Yeah. That's funny. Do you have any issues in FTO or any? Because one of the things I've always wondered about is, one of my big concerns coming over was, I've been a cop for a few years, kind of have my idea of how to do my job, but then going over to someone who just wants to, because there's a million ways to do this job, but some people don't see it that way, and they think the way I do it is the
This
only
way.
correct way to do it. And it's not the way it is in
Right.
actuality. Do you have any issues like that?
There was one. I remember it was a family violence strangulation case, and we'd already been out there for like 45 minutes, and like it just seemed kind of like just a disagreement the whole time, and husband's just trying to get all his stuff and leave, and then right as he's about to leave is when the wife finally says like, "Oh yeah, he choked me." I'm like, he did what? And so. I mean, there was no signs before then. Like
Right.
there was you couldn't tell there was any signs in the house or anything like that. And then she had no petechia in her eyes, no marks on her neck. It just, I don't know. It kind of like seemed like just the classic, like he said, she said.
Sure.
And so I said like, okay, I'll write it up as one, but I'm not arresting this guy for that.
Yeah.
And my FTO at the time, he was not about that.
Yeah.
But I was like, I think luckily we'd already let the guy go, and so I didn't arrest him for that one. But
Yeah.
I was like, I don't feel comfortable for this one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, those calls are a weird balancing act. Because on the one hand, you're required to take some kind of action by Texas law, and then you don't want to let somebody go who's actually done something.
Right.
But then, unfortunately, I always tell people, that they think our job is all about being high speed and chasing people, and like we spend most of our time just getting lied to. Like that's like I always tell my kids when they're telling me something that's not true. I'm like, buddy, what have I told you I do for a living? He's like, you get lied to. I'm like, yeah, I know what it looks like, which is actually less true at work because you don't know these people.
Right.
But yeah, you also don't want to arrest somebody, because they might not get prosecuted in a case like that with no other evidence presents itself. Most likely not,
Right.
But you
Yeah.
still have that arrest. You're still posting that bond. You still have that on your record.
Right.
There's some gravity to taking away. Especially taking away freedom without a warrant is a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always tough.
That was a difficult.
I had one time that was a family violence deal, and the guy got he got stabbed in the back, I don't know, 12 or 13 times, and we were like, that can't be. I made a joke when we first got there. I was like, well, we know that wasn't self-defense, and I was wrong. It was self-defense. Yeah,
Okay.
guy. The way the guy was holding the other dude down, he was just able to get the knife and get around behind to get him off. But it's like, yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
God.
taught me not to judge the situation too
Right?
quick.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
But, so you got here, you were in training. You go to night's patrol, I assume.
I went to day shift. Yeah.
Really?
I know.
How did that
God,
work out?
man. One of those guys.
I mean, just the guys that on nights they're still having fun running around together.
Right,
So
yeah.
I was like, y'all have fun down there. Huh? It's
Yeah.
fun.
Take
I'm
daytime.
going home at 7.
Yeah. I was like, hey, go wife. Okay.
Yeah. See, I'm like, no.
See? Yeah. Come on.
Nights is
Yeah.
fun until it's not, and when it's
Yeah.
not, I'm done.
Nights, I would still be on nights if I didn't have kids. It's just it is having, like, when your kids are like, hey, I'll be listening at 8 a.m. is the most important thing in the world to me
Yep.
right now. So I'm sorry you got off at 6 last night, but you need to go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what kills me. If I can still, because like if I get multiple days off in a row, my body will naturally revert back to that evenings type schedule where I can sleep till 10, 11 and stay up till 3, 4 in the morning easily. Like, and never be tired. It just feels natural for me. So I could definitely still do it. I just can't do the like flipping the schedule, staying up for 30 something
horrible.
hours straight.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It makes me angry. It makes me a bad
Yeah.
parent.
The first day's tough. It's like you just wasted away sleeping.
Yeah, yeah. And then your weekend, it's 3 or 4 days, but it feels shorter because of that adjustment period.
Yep.
So, well, how was days?
Oh, it was good. Oh man, yeah. A lot of traffic. My gosh.
Oh, dude.
I'm not used to that much
Oh,
traffic.
yeah. That
You were
transition
primarily
too.
nights in Tulsa.
Majority, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was on street crimes, I worked 7 to 5. So I mean, that was only about 9 months.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's the traffic. I always heard guys talk about, I don't want to be in the sun. And I don't want to do. You always hear the same 3 things. You always hear, I don't want to be in the sun. I don't want to, be that close to chain of command. And I don't want to, I don't want to have to wait in traffic. And the traffic thing, I was always like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're paying you to sit in traffic. But then once you do it for a while, it's like,
I'm tired of it.
yeah, that sucks.
Especially on 30. Oh gosh.
Oh, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because traffic sucks when they're not running into each other, but then they start running into each other.
30 is a monster. Oh,
Was that something that was a bit of a transition coming from Oklahoma too? Even just,
oh yeah.
I mean,
Yes. So I remember thinking, when I would work a wreck on the highways over there, I was still that's the one thing I hated the most. And then I remember the first time I worked a wreck on 30, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like 15 times worse than what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And I mean, nobody will
sucks.
get over. Yeah.
No,
Doing
I've
90
almost gotten
miles.
hit so many times on 30.
Uh-huh.
It's insane.
Yeah, that scares the hell out of me more than anything.
Man.
Like, you tell me we're going to a guy with a gun call. All right, fine. You got a 4 collision pile up on 30. Oh Lord, I don't want to go.
The one exception being if they're like, hey, the left 3 lanes are shut down. Okay, cool.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Scorpion's
I don't
already
mind
there.
that. Yeah. Once that's already like once the lanes are shut down and traffic starts backing up, I don't mind that. But it's like, they pulled over on their shoulder or something. Everyone's trying to fly by at 85 miles an hour in all 4 lanes. That sucks.
Especially when you're the first one sitting there for 15 minutes waiting on another one. Oh
Yep.
gosh, horrible, horrifying.
Yeah, it does suck. Because I think that's the one way as cops. That's the one way we don't want to go.
Yeah.
Like of all the ways, like we know it's dangerous. But that's just I don't want to. No car wrecks.
Right.
right.
I don't know why that is. Because the result's the same.
Did.
I don't know if it's just I don't know.
No way. I don't know. It's like a harshness with it too, and then you also probably thinking about your families. I mean, it's just like how what?
Yeah, I did all this. I survived all this. And
Right.
I'm like, what was you doing? Sitting on 30.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I hate it. I do not want to be a traffic officer here.
Yeah. Not big on step then?
I've never done step.
Never?
No. Yeah.
Not bad. I stay away from freeways, though.
See, yeah.
I used to. I used to do 161 until AJ got hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that's as good a sign as any.
See, even that one, like how big the shoulder used to be back then.
Dude, it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely insane.
That's just a freak accident. But,
Yep. Anyway, not to be too cheerful.
I know. Something happy.
What do you do now? Because you don't look like you're patrol.
yeah, so I'm on the bicycle unit right now. Yeah. That's
Explaining what you
yeah,
have
that's what the
on.
bright blue is for.
And would you join that for the external carrier, I assume?
That was one of the benefits, sure.
Yeah.
Anything I can do to get out of that Class A uniform.
All right, so everybody, you bike patrol, everybody's head goes to 21 Jump Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's what y'all do?
Well, if we arrest somebody, we don't start shooting in the air at the park. But we do make quite a few arrests at
Not
parks.
yet.
Not yet. We'll see. Maybe if the law changes. Yes. It's a funny story, but two guys on our unit actually did arrest somebody. And when they took him to jail, I guess he saw somebody that he knew. And he was like, yeah, these 21 Jump Street just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
No, you got him.
I think we were talking to somebody in here who's McCormick, but I think it's because y'all wear shorts.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all wear pants, I think you get made fun of less.
You know, I'm okay with that part because when you're out in 105-degree weather,
Oh, yeah. No.
and you
screw
got
'em.
the short, oh man,
gets to be
yeah,
cool.
100%.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
make
yeah.
fun of me all you want.
Well, and like we were talking earlier, your shorts aren't going to be as bad as Lake Patrol shorts.
Uh-huh. See?
Which they say they wear them to swim, but they're very short.
Yeah. Those aren't too short. Just past the knee.
What is obviously the big difference with bike patrol is you're
Yeah.
riding a bike, but what does your average day look like? You show up to work.
So we focus on try to focus on anyway, where there's high pedestrian areas. So your mall, retail areas, ride through parking lots, try to find people sitting in cars. That's usually people sitting in cars aren't up to anything good. Do that. We'll hit our parks too. Our parks, surprisingly, is where we get a lot of stuff, which sad that where people want to take their kids is where others want to go do things they shouldn't be doing.
All the more reason for y'all to be out there, though.
Yeah. So I mean, the residents out there, they're very appreciative when we see them ride by. They're always coming out and thanking us. So,
What do y'all normally coming across in parks?
two people doing things that create kids. That's a lot of them.
Makes sense.
I
Dope.
don't understand.
No, yeah, we'll talk after.
Yeah.
You're supposed to tell funny stories
Your
and embarrassing stuff.
Man.
Any cop that's been to a park has been embarrassed by what they found.
Interrupting romance.
Yeah, that's
right.
for sure.
So why don't you regale us with an embarrassing story?
Two high school kids were on lunch
Jesus,
break.
not
Oh,
underage.
no, I
I'm just
know.
kidding.
Give me at least
Yeah.
18.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Yeah, they were.
What have you come across in the park that's just made you go, ugh?
You could have been older. You can go to public school until
That's
like
true.
21.
There's some
so-
stupid people out
Yeah,
there.
I didn't ask their age. I just said they were on lunch break. I assumed that they were high school. So I guess
Okay.
that's. Do you want me to finish that story?
Yes.
Okay.
Never know how this
Let's.
ends.
I know the yelling made you think I didn't. But
Okay. Let's just say she had a hot dog in her mouth that didn't have a bun on it.
What?
That's not illegal.
It's not.
That's also the worst possible way to explain
I
that.
know it was.
Yeah, I was trying.
It was.
Thanks for running hot dogs.
Right.
I was trying to use.
Won't have that anytime soon.
I think that was probably my second or third day on the unit.
What?
I
Yes.
came across that one, so yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. You go to parks. It's just yeah. Yeah.
That's our bread and butter, really. Yeah.
Is there like I don't know, like what do you knock on the window? Like do you say like how do you
I try to be as awkward as I can. It's like, hey, what we doing? What's going on?
With that same like low, soft voice.
Yeah. I'll tell them, hey, no more wrestling in the car anymore without clothes on. Let's do that somewhere else. So another one I'll say is parks are for kids to play at, not to be made.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually cussed the dude out a couple weeks ago because I was working over. That's probably longer than that. I was working that bike OT, and me and Bodner, we were riding around. She's talking about that, how often you'll come across, which I know from patrol. But this is like 4 in the afternoon or something, and it's that one right around the corner with the way too tall place head on it.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And two people was going
nice
at
one.
in the back of the freaking back of this car, and I saw some movement. We rode by. I looked back. And I was like, sure as shit. So I hop out and I smack on the window, and like stopped. And I was like, get the fuck out of the car. And he went climbing out of the car. And I was like, what are you doing? And he obviously explained it. And I was like, look around you. I was like, what the like all these kids. I was like, and you pick here.
Right.
He's like, well, we just didn't have a place. And I was like, no, I get that. Like I've been in this situation before, but not here. Like. You
Don't choose this
you
place.
pick the one place that's designed for children.
What's funny is most cops know that. And so it's on the other end, people think like, oh, I can go here. And I'm like, I'll have privacy and I don't have to worry about anything. And then there's just a cop just, all right, here comes another one.
Yeah.
Dude, people are all the same. Like everyone has the same ideas.
Yeah.
And like, so when we come across people doing things they're not supposed to do, it's for the 100th time, guaranteed. Unless you happen to get that rookie, but more likely not, if they're that rookie, they've got somebody older with them that's going, hey, this guy's doing something he's not supposed to do.
Why is the car shaking?
Oh no.
Cool. Well,
I'm curious to know, like, the whole bike aspect. Like, did you do previous things with biking or, like, a part of a ride team, anything like that? Or is this...
I have a
Brand.
Peloton, if that counts. Does that qualify me?
I just...
I don't think so. No, it's a video game.
Well, yeah,
okay.
kind of a fun one.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, I mean, I like to ride bikes. I mean, I wasn't anything, not professional or anything like that. I mean, the bike I have at home is a Schwinn. but no, just there's a good group of guys. One of my good friends is on the unit, so thought, why not?
Which one's he?
Chancey.
Oh, Chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's, we were both classmates. So
Oh, cool.
You know anybody from Tulsa that's come down here?
oddly enough, Crace, he was Tulsa County, and
I didn't know that.
And we were in the same class here as well.
Oh, cool.
So I mean, we never met anybody. We both lived in the same town. Never met, but here we are, both moving to Texas, and now we're in the same academy class.
That's cool. Yeah, he's running the academy.
Yeah, he's the big guy on campus now.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, where do you kind of see your career going?
I'm literally going to ride out the bike unit for a couple more years. So
See what you did there.
yeah.
A ride out?
So
I like it.
Yeah, joke.
it's
that
just
was
too
cool.
fun. It's
I know.
something different. It is a completely different way to police, and until you do it, like it's fun.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you get made fun of a lot because you're a cop on bike. Everyone's always like, "Oh, did they take your Tahoe away from
No,
you? Or
no.
can I have a ride?" And it's like, but anyway,
Drop me off, right?
Yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
Just you know how cops get typical jokes and this, "Oh, it wasn't me," and they raise your
Yes.
hands up, and "Oh, this guy over here did it." But it's funny, they say the same thing every time on the bike, like, "Oh, can I get a ride?"
Yeah.
Or did you get your bike or your Tahoe taken away?
Yeah.
So those are the two main ones. But so yeah, having
Dude,
fun.
and
on
you like when I was younger, I see older cops respond to, "Oh, I didn't do it," and the older cops would respond like, "Shut the fuck up," or like it's like something really angry. I'm like,
Yep.
Jesus Christ! Like, it's not a great joke, but it's not that bad.
Right,
Like, relax.
yeah.
But then you get like 5 years in of hearing it every day,
Yep.
and you're just like, I wish it was though.
Yeah.
I would arrest you so.
Every time we
fast.
walk into a restaurant, I'm like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Because this is the first thing.
Yeah.
It's always someone.
Yeah.
But
Unless they're saying thank you for your service, and
That's a good one.
Here's your tab paid for,
that's a good one, too. Yeah. That's a fun one.
which is a cool thing that happens in the city.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of people that appreciate us, and I appreciate that. But yeah, hearing the same joke over and over again.
Yeah, it does get old.
Gosh. Yeah.
So after a couple of years in bikes, then
I definitely want to do detective at some point. So that was another thing in street crimes. We did have some small investigative work, just kind of the small stuff. So simple assaults. We did hit and runs.
like investigate them,
Yeah.
not doing them.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I don't know why, but that was just
That is random.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, any call that wasn't enough to be a crime, but still got a report, would come to us. And so I got a small taste of investigative stuff, and
Yeah.
it was cool. Like, I liked it, trying to figure out who your suspect is and all that.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something I like to do.
Those are the fun ones.
Yeah.
Like I love doing my job whenever I can. Like when I know I'm working something and I show up to work and I've got something to figure out. I absolutely love it, man.
Yeah.
I'll obsess about it. It's the ones that you already know who it is.
Yeah.
And you got to figure it out, or like it's baby mama drama type stuff. That's the stuff that sucks.
Yeah.
But even then, some of those are still fun because it's you know it's this person doing it, but you got to figure out how to show that they're the ones doing it. Especially, and people are so terrible in relationships. I mean, just awful. Like if you're like you ever look at your marriage or your relationship and you're just like, oh my gosh, I have it so bad, or I'm just tired of this person, or whatever. Just come hang out with the cops for a while and just see some of the stuff. Because I know me, it makes me like so much more appreciative of my wife.
Oh yeah.
Which not that I'm not appreciative anyway, but it's just we all have these little complaints. Like I'll be on the phone with her and like I know you have me in your AirPod and you're texting somebody else because you're talking to me at like 2 and 3 words at a time. It annoys the shit out of me. But it's like I didn't wake up with like a Molotov cocktail hanging out my gas tank. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that.
It's a win for
sure.
you.
Right. Yeah. So it kind of offers a little bit of perspective. But yeah, no, it's definitely something worth doing. Make you realize how bad of a patrol officer you are.
Oh, good.
At least it did me.
Don't tell me that.
You might have been great. But
Oh, because then you get to go back and see. Oh,
you
yeah,
see
that's
the back
true.
end and everything all the reasons you lose cases or all the things that could have been done to strengthen a case. And like I look back at my time patrol because I was an idiot. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna go chase dope and do all the fun stuff. I was like, fingerprints. That takes time. I'm not doing fingerprints. Like, and they probably don't work anyway. And now that I'm a detective, they work super well. Actually, it's like a whole science. Yeah, but it's probably more so for different people because there are certainly some patrol officers who have only done patrol who are fantastic.
Yeah.
I just wasn't one of them. So I know when I go back to the street, it'll certainly have made me better at that role. But anyway, well, I guess we're going to wrap up. You have any kind of advice or anything that you would offer prospective employers, specifically laterals?
Laterals.
You don't have to. Just if you like thinking of a lateral from a tornado ravaged land that was thinking about coming down to Texas.
Ravaged.
Or lateral. I mean, our department pays phenomenal. I mean, when I came here, I got a huge pay raise. So I mean, I'd say the pay here is great. I mean, there's pretty much anything you want to get into, you can get into here. So,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people. It's growing. Just the difference the city is when I got here 6 years ago now. I mean, it's just going to get bigger. So I mean, I think we're in a good spot. As far as advice, just in general, same thing the officer told me when I called him when I was in high school. He said that the decisions you make now will either help you get to becoming a cop or will hurt you. And so that's what I tell people.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Don't smoke drugs.
Don't smoke drugs.
Drugs are bad.
Or ingest or snort.
I didn't say they're bad. I said don't smoke.
Don't smoke. Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you sitting down with
Thanks
us.
for having me.
Chase Owen Chase.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it, Whitney.
Next time.
All right, till next time, guys.